Hey, so it's Nayetta here with the owner of the Activity Playhouse and the Let Kids Play podcast. So once again, I have my notebook to see what we're going to talk about today. So the last episode, I mentioned the skills needed for some of the fastest progressing jobs in the next 5 to 10 years. So I actually did a little research so that I can give you the right quotes and information. So in the next 5 years, the following jobs are projected to be progressive. So first, I've been working with kids for a long time, off and on. I did a couple of years in the Army, but my degree is in human resources. So it's helping people. I was just helping adults for a little bit, and now I'm back to helping our kids and educating our kids. And, well, not educating our kids, letting our kids play and educating you as their parents and as their first teacher. All right, so architectural and civil drafters, writers and authors, musicians, graphic designers, hairdressers, nurse practitioners, occupational therapy assistants, software developers, cooks, motion picture projectionists, ushers, attendants, home health, web developers, data scientists, info analysis, all of that stuff. So the first five that I named all spark something in my mind. So you have a writer, an author, an architectural drafter, a musician, a graphic designer, and a hairdresser. All those things in common have one skill in common, or a couple of, but the main one that stood out to me was creativity. Like, you have to be creative to do the top 5 careers that are gonna be popular, so to speak, in the next 5 to 10 years. So you prepare your toddler to read and write and preparing them for pre-K does what for them in the real world. On the video or the podcast, if you're listening, if you're watching, comment on the YouTube video. But preparing them for pre-K to know their colors and letters, which they'll learn automatically, because there's not one 9-year-old that doesn't know their colors, whether they learned it at 6, 4, 3, 2, they still know their colors. There are a lot of 9-year-olds and adults that don't know how to be creative. They don't know how to do things without people telling them what to do. They don't know how to collapse out the lines and turn it into, something creative and different. So that's what I feel like we really need to work on with our kids under 5. And then, because my background is in human resources, I took it a step further for you, because I really want you to understand the importance of teaching your kids these interpersonal skills and these skills outside of them reading. Let me take a step back. I don't want you all to get it confused. I'm not saying that knowing their colors isn't important. I'm not saying that reading, writing, and all that stuff is not important. What I'm saying is, under 5, there are things that we should focus on more than the flashcards and worksheets for a 3-year-old. Because this is the time, research shows, like, under 5 is the time that we develop these skills. Because after, I believe it's 6 or 7, it's hard to develop these skills. But communication, you want to teach them how to communicate at 2, 3, and 4, how to properly communicate, how to understand, how to express themselves. So at 2 and 3, that's when they're learning how to do that. That's where the temper tantrums and stuff come from. So you have to, as a parent, take a step back from yourself and what they trigger in you, because they will trigger some stuff. They're toddlers. They're toddlers. That's all I can say. So you have to teach them how to communicate. So you take a deep breath and use your words. Have them take a deep breath. Have them do different connections and exercises so that you're properly teaching them how to communicate. Also, problem solve. Don't do everything for your kids. Don't do everything for your kids. I know this is my opinion, but this right here is a fact. Don't do everything for your kids, or you're going to limit them with their thinking and problem solving. Let them figure it out on their own. Even if they are 2 and 3, or maybe 1, let them figure it out on their own. As long as it's a safe thing, they're safe, let them figure it out on their own. If they can't pull out the chair's not going to hit them and they're not going to fall over. Let them figure out how to pull out that chair. Like you have to give your kids more credit than what society is telling us. They're making it seem like toddlers and preschoolers aren't capable of doing things without us teaching them. Yes, we have to teach them, but they can learn a whole lot on their own. These kids are little scientists. Like I call them my littles, I'm going to start calling them my little scientists. Like these kids are like geniuses, and we limit them and pull them outside that genius spot and put them into this box that society tells us, or policymakers that are using like outdated material or I guess methods. They tell us to put these kids back in the box. Let these kids be creative. Yes, it seems like they're telling you what to do because they are, but listen to them. Let them explore and express themselves so you don't limit them. Today's episode is sponsored by McDonough Moms. I'm wearing one of their shirts, The Real Moms of McDonough. McDonough Moms is a safe space for moms in the Henry County area to come together. They have fun events for the kids, play dates. They have brunches. They have sipping paints. They do all type of fun activities. They have a walking group. Just all type of different things for moms in the Henry County area to get together, have fun. A lot of people have moved to the area and they aren't from Georgia, so they don't have family here. So it's a great place to meet local mom friends, to build a community, to build your village for your kids, and getting to know the area as far as the parks and things like that. So you don't feel alone, moving to a new area and being in a new area. So if you're in the Henry County area, make sure you join McDonough Moms, their Facebook group, their Facebook page, and then also on IG. So again, thank you to McDonough Moms for sponsoring this week's episode. Creativity, adaptability, reliability, attention to detail, time management, self-confidence, curiosity, all that stuff is the stuff that they learn before the age 5. And we take that away, especially curiosity. Oh, no, don't touch that. Oh, no, don't do this. Oh, no, do that. Oh, you're going to hurt yourself or you're going to cut yourself. Like, I get it. We want to keep our babies safe. But at the end of the day, they have to explore and they have to learn that natural consequence. So if you're cooking, no, I'm not saying let your child burn themselves on purpose. You want to keep them 6 feet away from the stove. But if you tell them, don't touch the stove because it's hot, and you show them like here's a light on or here's the hot symbol, and they still touch it, they were curious, and the natural consequence was it's hot. It burned me. So that it happens. Let them be curious. If they want to taste something, let them taste it. Like, don't limit them. And that's another thing. I guess that's my pet peeve. I'm trying not to rant, but stop limiting these kids' taste buds in their palate. Expand their palate. Let them taste everything under the sun. My 3-year-old has tasted a little wasabi. Why? Because he wanted to try the green sauce. The green paste. So I let him taste a little wasabi. He did just a dab, but he tasted it, and oh yeah, that's hot, Mommy. You said that was hot. It's spicy, but you want to try it? Here we go. Try it. Let them try it. Don't limit their palate. Don't limit them to just the chicken nuggets and stuff, y'all. They can eat more than that. And if your kid is this, I'm going off subject, but real quick, if your kid is picky, sensory, let them touch and feel, smell it. Let them do all of that. They have to explore and learn to see if they'll actually like it. But those are just some characteristics of the jobs that are projected to be popular, or the job that you would want to have when our kids get older. So my 10-year-old, I'm not pushing him to be the best speller that he could be with his spelling words, because actually he could do that with his eyes closed. I'm not pushing him to like, oh, you need to read this. No, let's read something fun. If you want to read about gaming, let's read about gaming. If you want to read about what's he reading now? Oh, some magical world. Let's make reading and learning fun so that it's not considered boring and mandatory, so they don't get bored with school, which they probably will still get bored with school if they're curious and they're problem solvers. But let's go back to making learning fun. Like, reading a book is not mandatory. It's cool to just pick up a book, turn off the TV, and pick up a book on your own. That was my episode for today. The projected jobs of the future, the characteristics you need to be instilling in your kids under 5, the communication, problem solving, attention to details, self-confidence, being curious and creative, so that your toddler will not only be ready for pre-K, they'll be ready for the world as an adult. Think about your coworkers that you work with. We won't get into that, but think about your coworkers and then think about what you need to instill into your kids so they're not like that coworker. But all right, until next time, Nayetta, your kids' only activity guide with the Activity Playhouse, and Let Your Kids Play podcast. Bye.